If there was ever one truth in life, it's death. At least, that's what the old Western beliefs say. When a person dies, their body is buried, returned to the earth, to the elements, so the soul can rest, so it doesn't wander forever. But sometime, it's not enough. Some souls stay restless, even buried deep beneath the soil. They can't find peace, they linger. Death comes for all of us, not early, not late. There is a time, set and sealed, and only then can a soul truly rest. But what if someone suffers before their time? What if death comes too soon, too cruel? Then the soul doesn't move on, it lingers, stuck between worlds, trapped in pain, wandering across lifetimes, looking for release. Emily had moved to Edinburgh to pursue her medical degree. She had been looking for a good place to stay for days, but nothing felt right, nothing felt safe. She'd been searching for a place for days, but she can't find anything worth staying in. She whispered that to herself more than once, like the city was listening. Her friend Sophie offered, "If I had space in my flat, you wouldn't be worrying like this, but there's a friend I know. I'll talk to him. Maybe he can help." Emily sighed. "I've had enough of staying in cheap places, but the rent is something I can't stretch much further." There was tiredness in her voice, not just from searching, but from something heavier. After a few more days passed, Sophie came to her with news. "I got a call from my friend James. I think he found you a place, but there's something strange about it." Emily narrowed her eyes. "What do you mean by strange?" James's message was unsettling. The house was near an old graveyard, a place locals called the Passage of Peace.
What's this Passage of Peace?
Why would anyone live near that? Emily's voice was uneasy, disturbed. Sophie tried to explain. "I know it sounds odd, but the landlord is offering it cheap because it's near an old cemetery. No one else wants to live there. But if it's your only option, maybe consider it." Emily hesitated. Her gut twisted. But days had passed, and she still had nowhere to go, no other choice. So she agreed. With Sophie and James helping her, Emily moved in. "The entire house is yours now, Emily. The upstairs is empty," James told her. She nodded, unsure. Once Emily settled in, she was alone, in a 2-story house, quiet, still. But something wasn't right. There was a feeling, a strange presence, like the air was holding its breath. Something lingering, watching. That first night, she was alone. The house, eerily silent. But something didn't feel right. A strange chill hung in the air. Later that evening, while watching TV, Emily heard it. A faint knocking, software distant. She paused, listened, brushed it off. Maybe just her imagination. But it came again, persistent. The knock was coming from her window. At first, she thought it was the wind, or maybe a branch tapping against the glass. But the knocking grew louder, and her heart began to race. She pulled the curtain back, slowly, cautiously. But there was no one there, nothing, just silence.
Is someone messing with me?
She whispered to herself. She turned to walk away, but the knock came again, sharper, closer. This time, Emily couldn't ignore it. She stepped toward the window, and in the darkness outside, she saw it. A shadow, moving, watching. But in an instant, it was gone. Terrified, Emily backed away from the window, her hands trembling. She locked it tight. Then the door bolted shut. She grabbed her phone and played a calming hymn. one from her family's old church traditions, a melody that once made her feel safe. But that night, there was no peace, just the echo of that song, filling the silence. Emily lay in bed, eyes wide open, the hymn playing softly beside her, trying to drown the unease. Hours passed. She didn't remember falling asleep, only that her dreams were anything but calm. Days passed, without incident. The house was quiet, still, almost too still. But then, one evening, the knocking returned, soft at first, then sharper, closer. Emily froze, her breath caught in her throat. And then laughter, low, echoing, unnatural. Not inside, but not far either. As if the house itself was listening and laughing back. Emily couldn't shake the fear creeping in. It slithered up her spine, cold and slow. The laughter grew louder, not joyous, but hollow, twisted. Then came the footsteps. Software deliberate. Tap, 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 like shoes clicking against old wood from the balcony, just outside her window. She didn't dare move, didn't dare breathe. Something was out there, and it knew. She was listening. Emily grabbed her phone again. She played the hymn, louder this time, as if the music could shield her. She crept toward the window and looked out. No one, nothing, just shadows. She slammed it shut, locked it tight. Then, darkness. Her phone screen went black. No warning, no battery alert. The hymn cut off mid-note. Silence. Emily's heart pounded, her breath shallow. She turned back to the window one last time, still nothing. But she knew something had been there. In desperation, Emily locked the house. Every window, every door, bolted, sealed, prayed over. She turned to her family's old traditions, lit candles, whispered hymns, performed a cleansing ritual. Every corner purified with trembling hands. But the air didn't shift, the shadows stayed, and the unease never left. She told Sophie everything, the knocking, the laughter, the figure outside. Sophie laughed nervously. Maybe your imagination's just running wild. But Emily knew. It wasn't in her head. Something was wrong with the house. Something was watching her. Sophie suggested a blessing. "Let's bring in a local pastor," she said, "just to be safe." Emily agreed. And the next day, the pastor arrived. He walked through each room, chanting prayers, sprinkling holy water. The air felt heavier, but calmer. "Don't worry, Emily," the pastor said gently. "Sometimes spirits are caught between realms. But you are safe now." Then he paused. "Just remember, stay inside at night. That's when the energies are strongest. For a while, things settled down. No knocking, no laughter, no shadows. But Emily was never fully at ease. Not truly, not in that house. She always knew. It stood near the old cemetery, that place Sophie had called the Passage of Peace. But it never felt peaceful. Sometimes, late at night, she'd feel it again, that creeping sense of being watched. As the new year approached, Emily hosted a small gathering with friends. Laughter filled the house. Warmth returned, if only for a while. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. She went to answer, but no one was there. A few seconds later, it rang again. Still, no one. Then, a voice from the dark hallway.
"Hey, why are you leaving us outside?"
It was Sophie's voice, familiar, warm. Emily rushed to the door, opened it. Her friend stood there, smiling, confused. "That's weird," Emily whispered to herself. "I could have sworn I heard someone before." She made tea, calmed herself, tried to shake the unease. Then the doorbell rang again. Confused, Emily walked to the door, opened it, and froze. Her face turned pale. Her breath caught in her throat. Her friends were at the door, still outside, waving, smiling, cheerful, unaware. Emily turned back. Slowly. The living room behind her. Empty. The cups were empty. Cold. The laughter fading into silence. If those were her friends, then who came first?